Dr. J. Vernon McGee, a Texan who lived in California, he actually wrote, he says, as the New Testament presents Yeshua the Messiah at its theme, so Isaiah presents Yeshua the Messiah as his theme. Isaiah has been called the fifth evangelist. The book of Isaiah has been called the fifth gospel. Messiah's virgin birth, his character, his life, his death, his resurrection, and his second coming are all presented in Isaiah with definiteness and clarity. You can see that also, of course, in the books of the New Testament as they quote. And I chose to put this now so you can see that the book of Isaiah has so many. By the way, we're going to, how do we do that with the, are we going to have this presentation available for everyone? Yeah, you don't have to take photos of every slide. You're going to be able to get it from the church later, okay? But as you can clearly see, 20 of the 27 books of the New Testament actually refer to Isaiah. 12 books of the New Testament contain direct quotations from Isaiah. Isaiah is often used to enforce and enlarge upon those passages that speaks of Christ. It is chiseled into the rock of the New Testament with the power tool of the Holy Spirit. I mean, you can just look. It's amazing how one book in the Old Testament can contain when it comes to our Messiah. But all in all, it's just not just the Messiah. If you really look at the structure and the style and the content of the book of Isaiah in relation to the rest of the Bible, you can clearly see that Isaiah is like a mini-Bible. There are 66 books in the Bible and there's 66 chapters in Isaiah. There are 39 books in the Old Testament and 27 books in New Testament, and there are 39 chapters on the law in Isaiah and 27 chapters on grace in Isaiah. It's very beautiful to see how the book of Isaiah is a reflection of actually the entire Bible. And as the hope of Israel was already in the first chapter of the Magna Carta of our faith, which is the book of Romans, speaking of the salvation of Israel to the Jew first, if you remember, it is also in the first chapter of the grace portion of Isaiah himself. An amazing prophet who lived to see, unfortunately, the very last days of the kingdom of Judah and Israel at the time before the diaspora to Babylon. And when we come to examine Isaiah chapter 40, verse 1, and also verse 2, we have to ask ourselves the question, who is Isaiah really talking about? Because the Hebrew, and that's where I have a tiny little advantage here, the Hebrew is using an interesting language here. It says, and I want you to look at each other right now, and say the Hebrew words, Nachamu, Nachamu Ami. The tissue papers are here. Nachamu, Nachamu Ami. The word Nachamu, it means comfort. But it is, listen to this now, it is in the plural case and the imperative case. It's a command to a group of people to comfort God's people. Do you understand what I just said? Okay, it's not a suggestion. It's not a request.